Hey people, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and following this news regarding four children ages 13, 9, 4, and an 11-month baby surviving for 17 days in the Amazon jungle. A Cessna plane crashed in the middle of the jungle, and as you see, when it's this kind of vegetation, it just swallows the aircraft. Even a larger aircraft, it's probably not likely to be found when there's this much vegetation. A Cessna will just disappear like a little needle in the pile of grass. So apparently this is still ongoing, but apparently the four children have been found alive. There's a little bit of contradiction there because they did find the aircraft. They were not there. They started moving after 17 days, but apparently someone found them in one of these rivers, and supposedly the four of them have been found alive. It is amazing, really. 17 days. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind here. These children were with three other adults. The three adults died. Unfortunately, the mother, the pilot, and a leader of the Aboriginal community. These are native children from a native group that's Aboriginal of the Amazon forest, so they probably knew, especially the older kid, the 13-year-old. I think she was a 13-year-old girl, so she probably knew, given that they are local to this community, they probably knew what kind of fruits they could eat. Apparently they were eating some maracuja, which they did find near the plane crash, and they followed the track with a dog and found a little camp that they improvised. Yeah, not all 13-year-olds are the same, guys. And yeah, even with those ages, 9, 4, 11 months, I'm surprised by how they, hopefully if it's this way, that they managed to keep the 11-month-old baby alive. Dude, it is difficult to keep a little child of that age, a baby, an 11-month baby alive. No doubt whatsoever, like most Aboriginal people do. Breastfeeding that kid was by far the most likely, the formula thing. I think there was like a little baby bottle, so it could be that they did that, or maybe they had some kind of juice or something like that. Usually most people in these regions will breastfeed the kids, but somehow managing to keep that baby alive for 17 days. Look, an adult can go for 17 days without eating any full meal, no problem. You will not starve to death in 17 days. Water, that's another issue. But with a rainforest like this, apparently the kids were drinking water from the leaves, is something I've read as well. Who knows? And yeah, even that can be quite tricky, because if the average person just starts licking leaves in a forest, you will end up with parasites. Now, these kids being from that region, they probably had immunity to most of the things that are found in their own jungle, right? So again, one of these communities from one of the local tribes or whatnot, probably a little bit more understanding of how to live. For them, it's not survival. For them, it's just living in their forest. So that's probably what kept them alive so much. But again, surprised by the ability to keep a 13-year-old girl from this region. It's not the same as a 13-year-old from your American suburb. It's a completely different person, even more mature than your average adult in the United States or the rest of the developed world. But in these places, 17-year-old girl, she probably knew a little bit more about these things. Still, babies, tough. They need a certain amount of intake of calories. They're growing at a certain speed. They probably cannot just eat anything. But again, who knows? Maybe the baby already knew how to eat some of the stuff that the parents were feeding him from the local vegetation. So maybe it wasn't that much of a shock. But man, still amazing. I really hope we get more news from this. It's still ongoing, and so far, this is what we know. Hopefully, we'll get more news soon and find these four little kids alive and well. Guys, it's all for now. As always, remember to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to learn more about survival preparedness, you have my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse, Street Survival Skills, available in Amazon in the links there below. See you next time. Take care.